What's good, YouTube? Today I'm gonna be giving you guys the best settings and tips and tricks in order to get the most frames and the least amount of input delay in Fortnite. Alright, so first off, in your Fortnite game settings, the window mode, you want to make sure this is full screen. This is gonna make your game run the smoothest with the most frames. And then your resolution, depending on your PC, if you have a good PC, then you can probably do 1920 by 1080. If not, if you have like a lower end PC, then I'd suggest 1600 by 900, as it looks almost as good as 1920 by 1080 and gives you a lot more frames and less input delay, and it's actually really noticeable. And if you want to go even further, you can go 1280 by 720, although I don't really recommend it because your quality is going to look a lot worse. So yeah, I recommend 1600 by 900, but if you're like a content creator, then just stick to native. For your frame rate limit, you're gonna just cap this off. Like whatever your hertz of your monitor is, say it's 60 hertz, you're gonna just go one above that. So just cap it off at 120 FPS. Um, for your graphics quality, make sure that these are all low. If you want, you can put your textures to high. I've heard this actually makes your frames like it actually makes you get more frames, but when I did this, for some reason, my meshes actually changed, so I just keep it at low. Make sure VSync is off, and then for rendering mode, I suggest performance mode as it gives you the most frames and less input delay. But if you're someone that doesn't really like bubble builds or mobile builds, and you're deciding between DX11 and 12, I definitely go DX12 because when I used it, it gave me a lot more frames than DX11. And then whenever you have performance mode on, um, your meshes is basically how the builds will look. So low is basically just mobile builds, and high is bubble wrap builds. So I'd suggest bubble wrap builds because I like that better, like personally. But if you don't, then you can choose mobile, which is low. Another thing you guys want to do is go to your sound settings. Make sure your sound quality is on low if you want the most frames possible. And make sure your subtitles are off. Your text size is extra small, color white, and none for border, and opacity is clear. And then also you can make auto decline friend requests, turn that on, and then you can also notify when friends are playing and turn that on, and then show social notifications. You can also turn this off, and those will all give you more frames. And that's it for the Fortnite game settings. Alright, next you're gonna want to change your actual Fortnite game settings within like the config. So what you want to do is just go to Windows key, press run, or type in run, and then you're gonna type in % local app data %. Click OK. It'll take you here. You want to scroll down until you find Fortnite game right here. Go to saved, config, Windows client, and then game user settings. Before you go in this, you want to right click, go to properties, untick read only, click apply, click OK. And when you go in, you're going to look for a few things. So the first thing, make sure motion blur is off, make sure it's false, make sure your show grass is also false so you're not rendering grass, which gives away from your frames. And make sure your display gamma is at 1 exactly, so make sure you change all that. And also some things you want to change, make sure your res is all match, so they all should say 1920 by 1080. Make sure that your latency, basically just copy all of these settings here. Your latency tweak should be 2, your latency flash should be false, the ray tracing should be false, tracing shadows quality should be true, the tracing reflections quality should be 2, and then ambient occlusion quality should be true, and your DLSS quality should be 1, and then this final ray tracing should be 0. Just make sure you copy all those settings there. Make sure this ray tracing AOQ quality is 1, and then make sure this 120 FPS mode is false. And then you're also gonna make sure that whatever graphics or rendering mode you're using, so I'm using performance mode, make sure it's set to true here and everything else is set to false. So if you're using DX12, this should be true, and then these two should be false. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So you're just gonna save that, exit out, right click, properties, and tick back read only, and click OK. Click apply, and then OK. Okay, the next thing you guys can do to get more frames and less input delay is go to your settings on your computer, go to gaming, make sure your game bar is off. Your game mode should always be on, and then you can also go to graphics settings here and go to Fortnite, go to options, and make sure this is high performance to get the best performance out of your PC for Fortnite. And then another thing you guys want to do is make sure your Windows is updated. Always check for updates and make sure it's updated, because this can cause frame drops and input delay as well. Just make sure everything's updated. You want to make sure that your apps, you have any unused apps, you just uninstall those, any that take up a lot of space. Make sure your startup apps are off, as this also causes input delay, unless it's things that you actually need and like use on a daily basis. Um, your privacy, make sure that these are all off unless it's something you actually like want on, because this is just basically like Windows tracking all your stuff, which obviously is going to cause some kind of frame drops if you're playing while you're like have Windows open. And then make sure also that you just have a stable connection. So a good thing you want to have is an Ethernet cable. This causes your connection to be like wired, and it just makes it a lot more stable and gives you a lot more frames. And then make sure that all your notifications are off and your focus assist is off. This also will cause frame drops mid-game if you get like a notification for something. And yeah. Okay, so next what you guys want to do is go to Windows, click your window button, and then you want to type in your mouse, click mouse settings, and then, oh, okay, never mind, my bad. So actually you want to type in keyboard until you here, and then this will help, like, so this actually, believe it or not, makes you like a little bit faster in some things. So say you're like spamming like your edit key, and if you have like repeat delay on, then it'll be a little bit like slower. So you just make sure that these are all set to short, or this is set to short, and then repeat rate is set to fast. The blink doesn't matter, but just make sure that these are both set like to short and then fast. This will actually make you to where if you're like spamming a button like edit, it'll actually make it a little bit quicker. Another thing you can do is Windows key and then type in control, and then you go to your control panel, click system and security. You're gonna click system, and then advanced system settings. Go to settings on performance, and make sure that you have you can do custom. Just untick all these boxes, and you could just take these four, because I mean, if you don't want like smooth edges, like if say I didn't have smooth edges clicked, then it would be like some weird lines you would see when I drag. So it's just certain preferences. If you want the best performance possible, then you can just click adjust for best performance and it unticks all of them. However, I kind of like these that I have clicked here, because I think these are important to me. So yeah. Next, what you can do is go to your, so click Windows key, type in RGE or EG, and it'll take you to Registry editor, and you click yes. And once you're in, what you can do is go to H key local machine, then click on software, then you go down to where you see let me see, where's that? Microsoft right here. And then once you're in Microsoft, you're gonna scroll down to where you see Windows NT, which is right here. And then you're gonna go to um, then you're gonna go to image file execution right here. or no, first you're gonna go Windows NT. You click that. You're gonna go to current version, and then you can go to your image file execution. What you wanna do is right click on new key, and then I'll have the link of what you're supposed to I'll have what you need to type in the description. So click new key, and it's gonna be this right here, this Fortnite client, Win64 shipping.x, and then inside that you wanna also make a new string value, and then it's gonna be titled PerfOptions, and then once you do that, you're gonna add a new DWORD 32-bit value called CpuPriorityClass, and I can pull it up for you guys. Here's a notepad that just basically tells you what each priority is. So once you click on it, you're gonna go to decimal, and depending on what you want, if you want normal priority, it's gonna be automatically set to normal, which is 2, above normal, which is 6, and then high, which is 3. So I recommend above normal because if you tab out of your game, then whenever you tab out, everything will load decently fast. But if it's on high, it's gonna load a little bit slower, but you will get more frames. So you can do 3 if you want the most frames possible, which is set to high. And then another thing you guys can do, okay, something else you guys can do in the registry editor is go to your HKey local machine, go to system, then you want to go to, let's see, controls, current control set, then services. You want to scroll down to mouse. It says Mouclass, right? Where is it? Right here. And you're gonna make a new key value for this as well. And you're gonna just name it parameters. And once you're in here, you're just gonna make a new D word, and then you're gonna name it word, or you're gonna name it mouse data queue size. And then basically what you want to do is go to decimal, and you're just going to change this value up, and you're going to lower it, and each time you lower it you want to restart your computer and then like load up Fortnite. And if your mouse isn't like glitching or bugging, then it'll be good. And you're basically like lowering the input delay on your mouse. But if you lower it too low, like if I have this on like 20, then my mouse starts like glitching all over the place. So that's how you know it's too low and your mouse can't handle it. And you can also keep scrolling, um, or no, go back up, and you can find keyboard and do the same thing I just said. So make another string called parameters, add another D word, and then keyboard data queue size as is the D word name. And then you go decimal, and you can do the same thing. So for this, you can do a lot lower. So 0 actually didn't cause any problems for me, so I just set it to 0, which is like the lowest you can go. So that also can give you less input delay. So I definitely recommend doing that. Okay, and the final things you guys want to do is, I'll leave a link in the description. You're gonna download this intelligence standby list cleaner, and you'll just go here, official download. Once it's done, you're just gonna click it, click extract, and once it's done downloading, you can run it as administrator. And when you open it up, so basically what you want to do is these values would both be set to 1024. So whatever gigabytes of RAM you have. So to check that, what you could do, go to control panel, go to system again, and then as you can see here, I have 8 gigabytes of RAM right here. So that's the same thing as 8,000 megabytes. You just want to half that, so put 4,000 right here. So say you have 16 gigabytes, that's really 16,000 megabytes. So you will put 8,000 here, and so on. And then also what you want to do is take this box enable custom timer resolution, put 0.5 right here, and you can change the polling rate to 500. If not, then you can just keep it at 1000, but you can change it to 500. And you also want to tick these boxes so the application starts as soon as your PC turns on. You don't have to turn it on every time. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright guys, and after you guys do all those tips and tricks, as you see in our creator map right here, and I'm getting a pretty constant around 220 to 240 FPS. You guys are gonna see a few frame drops from me because my PC isn't as good as probably some of y'all's. I really have a pre-built from Best Buy, so it's not the best, but as you see, I'm still getting a lot more frames than I usually would. But I'm not gonna keep on 240 obviously because like I said at the beginning of the video, I only have a 60 Hz monitor, so I'm gonna only really be using it at 120, and I could easily get that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video though. Thank you guys for watching. If I helped you guys in any way, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.